All right, explorers, welcome. Today we're grabbing our gear and heading out into the digital wilderness. That's right, we are going on a hardware and software safari to see the incredible creatures that live right inside your computer.
I mean, have you ever really thought about it? We use these amazing machines every single day, but what actually makes them tick? What are the gears, the brains, and, the invisible forces that bring our entire digital world to life? Well, guess what? Today, we're going to find out. Okay, so let's get right to it. At its very core, every computer is really made of two totally distinct but deeply connected worlds. First up, you've got the hardware. That's all the physical stuff, the parts you can actually see and touch. And then you have the software. Think of it as the ghost in the machine, the untouchable set of instructions that tells all that physical stuff what to do.
So here's our safari map, our plan for the day. We'll start by exploring the hardware kingdom, then we'll venture into that invisible world of software. After that, we'll meet the two key players in the software world, the leader and its tools, before we see how this whole thing comes together to create one complete digital ecosystem. Sound good? Let's go. Okay, our first stop is the hardware kingdom. This is where we get to spot the physical fauna of our digital world, all those tangible parts that make up the body of the computer. So first question, how does information get from our world into the computer's world? Well, it's through something called input devices. You can think of these as the computer's senses, right? They're gathering everything from the words you type to the sounds you make, and you know these creatures very well. The keyboard, of course, turns your typing into commands. The mouse translates your hand movements into digital action. A microphone captures sound, and a scanner literally pulls a physical document right into the digital world. They're the bridges from our world to theirs. Okay, so once all that data is in the computer, it needs to be understood. And that's the job of the processing device. We're talking specifically about the CPU, the central processing unit. This thing is, without a doubt, the brain of our entire operation. And inside this brain, you've got this tiny, super powerful team just cranking away. The control unit is like the manager, directing all the traffic. The arithmetic logic unit, well, that's the mathematician, crunching all the numbers. And the memory unit is like a little waiting room for data that's about to be processed. And together, they are executing billions of instructions every single second. It's wild. So after all that processing, all that thinking, the computer needs a way to tell us what it came up with, right? That's where output devices come into play. They take all that processed digital information and translate it back into a form that we can actually see, hear, or even hold. These devices are basically the computer's voice and face. We see the results on our monitor, we get a physical copy from a printer, and we can hear them through speakers or headphones. It completes the whole conversation. But what about all the information we want to keep around? For that, we need storage devices. These are the digital memory banks. They're like the elephants of our ecosystem, remembering everything long after the power gets turned off. Now, this long-term memory can be the giant internal hard disk where pretty much your whole digital life is stored, or it can be portable options for moving data around. Things like CDs, Blu-rays, and of course, the trusty old pen drive. And here's a little knowledge nugget for you. Not all the hardware is on the outside. In fact, some of the most critical parts, like the motherboard that connects everything, are fixed deep inside the case. They're the hidden backbone of the whole operation, the infrastructure that lets all these other parts talk to each other. Okay, so we've explored the physical body of our digital creature, but what about its mind? Now we're venturing into the invisible world of software, that set of instructions that basically acts as the rules of the jungle. But hey, before we dive into those rules, let's give a quick shout out to the pioneer who kind of dreamed it all up. Charles Babbage is considered the father of the computer because he imagined the first automatic digital computer. He laid the conceptual groundwork for this whole world of software we're talking about. Now, within this software jungle, the rules are basically organized into two main groups. You have the overall manager that runs the whole Safari, and then you have all the specialized tools it uses to get specific jobs done. First up is the system software. Now, it's really important to get this. This isn't the software you use to write a paper or edit a photo. Nope. This is the foundational layer. It manages the computer itself, making sure all the hardware pieces can talk to each other and that other programs have a stable place to run.
And the single most important piece of system software is the operating system, or the OS. It really is the Safari leader. It guides everything and tells all the other parts where to go and what to do. Without it, you just have a pile of really powerful but really confused hardware. And man, this leader juggles a ton of jobs. It manages every single device, from your mouse to your printer. It organizes all of your files into a structure that makes sense. It dishes out precious computer memory where it's needed most. And it provides the essential services that all other software depends on. So whether you're using Windows, macOS, or Linux, you're interacting with a very powerful Safari leader. So if the OS is the leader, then application software, well, that's all the specialized tools you bring on the Safari. Your compass, your map, your camera, each one is designed to help you do a very specific task. And these are the tools we use every single day. When you need to write a report, you launch a word processor like Word. To present your brilliant ideas, you grab PowerPoint. For crunching numbers, you've got spreadsheets like Excel. And to make some art, you use image editors like Photoshop. Each tool is perfect for its own unique job. And all of this brings us to the final and probably the most important observation on our Safari today. It's not about hardware versus software. It's about seeing them as one complete, totally interconnected digital ecosystem. When you boil it all down, it's this simple. Hardware is the body, the muscles, the bones, the senses. But software is the brain that gives that body purpose and tells it what to do. You absolutely cannot have one without the other. They need each other to work. And that leaves us with a really fascinating thought for the future. We already know that software, like AI, can design physical objects for 3D printers. So the question is, how long will it be before the software on our Safari gets smart enough to design its own, even better hardware? What will that digital ecosystem even look like? It is a pretty exciting future to imagine.